Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang! McKee, first down and more! Charlie McKee! Touchdown, Oceanside!
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
We welcome you to a windy Bethpage High School. This evening, we're live at Howard Votes Field, where the 2-1 Golden Eagles of Bethpage taking on the 0-3 Owls of Lynbrook High School. Good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler here with Mike Hungerford, assistant coach at Farmingdale High School. And Mike, certainly when you talk traditional programs in Nassau Conference 3, usually right at the very top of your list is Bethpage and Lynbrook. They have won their share of county championships. They've won the Long Island Championship. Even this year, two of the top 5 seeds in this conference, although they are both hit with a little bit of adversity. Lynbrook coming in again 0-3. The smallest squad that Steve LaCicero, their head coach, said he's had. On the other side, Bethpage, 15 players in quarantine right now, so you've got to bring 14 up from JV. But it literally is the next man up mentality for both of these squads.
Yeah, great matchup here tonight, Dylan. You mentioned that both these teams, traditionally 2 great powers in the conference, kind of coming in different directions. The Bethpage guys seem like they're surging a little bit right now. Once they went back to their wishbone offense for traditional wishbone, Bethpage roar playing out of the bone, and Lynbrook coming in 0-3. But I think they're pretty dangerous 0-3, and they're trying to get a win and get their first win of the year. And it's just interesting how this game progresses, how it goes with the adversity trying to overcome on both sides.
Yeah, Lynbrook, as you said, 0-3, coming off a 34-0 loss at Floral Park, and Bethpage bouncing back from a Week 2 loss to Manhasset to defeat Division 33-7. In that win, they scored on their first 5 possessions, as you mentioned. They went back to the wishbone against Manhasset after falling into a 21-0 hole, and has really made a big difference, and it's something that they've played in this program throughout. We'll take a quick break. We'll have the national anthem, and we'll return with our pregame.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, three-point shot is up and in. You back them back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle, he's got a man, it's complete. And Ciolino, see you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith, why not? Wow. Bang! McKee, first down and more! Charlie McKee! Touchdown, Oceanside!
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
And welcome back to Bethpage. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here, just about set for the opening kickoff. Let's take a quick look at our players to watch for both teams. First, for Lynbrook, and that's number 30, David Vivar. Now you look at David and you see maybe a smaller size guy, but this is a 70-pound wrestler. He's playing D-end. He's got 10 tackles on the year. He's got quickness, toughness. He's certainly the guy, if they're able to stop this wishbone offense, to look for Lynbrook. And then for Bethpage, again, Patrick Dalton's usually the guy for them. He is out this week, so for Bethpage, you got to keep an eye out for number 24, Donovan Martinez, stepping up in a bigger role this week, the 5'8 senior with 13 carries for 103 yards and a touchdown. He will get the bulk of the carries today for the Golden Eagles, and if they are to be victorious, he's very much going to play that Dalton role today. The head coaches for this game, for Lynbrook in his 15th season, it's Steve LaCicero out of Bayport Blue Point High School, 1986 graduate, played 4 years at Marist. He was a captain his senior year. A slot receiver, he kind of joked, kind of like that Danny Amendola type. He's in his 31st year overall of coaching as well. Was part of that assistant coaching crew for that Long Island Championship team as well in the early 90s. And the head coach at Bethpage High School, he is a Bethpage lifer. It's Roddy McCoy, a 1994 graduate of Bethpage High School. The quarterback of that first Bethpage team to go on and win the Long Island Championship and Rutgers Cup as well was an assistant coach under the legendary Howie Votes, and then also for Erwin Dill. So he's been very much part of this program. He's ingrained here at Bethpage, and he's hoping certainly in his second year here to lead the Golden Eagles to a big win here tonight.
Sure, with Coach McCoy stepping in some big shoes to fill. He doesn't see it like a pressure situation. He enjoys the challenge of it and being part of where he went to school and working where he's from and leading a program as storied as Bethpage. And of course, Coach Cicero, when you think of Lynbrook football, you do think of him. He's been there for quite a while now. He's been very highly successful. And we'll see tonight that those guys lead their troops into the game here tonight, trying to overcome, of course, we said a lot of issues that they're both trying to work through, and we'll see how they're able to do that and manage the situation tonight as the game progresses.
Cicero's funny. He said, he's from Bayport Blue Point, but he's very proud to also say he's part of that Lynbrook community, right? Like he said, he's always felt that it's important when you coach, you're in that community, you're part of that, especially a football coach where it's so much about the community, and he is certainly a big part of that at Lynbrook as well.
I actually didn't know he was from Bayport Blue Point. I thought he was a Lynbrook guy.
Don't hold it against him.
No, absolutely not. And you know what? I thought he was a Lynbrook guy, and because he is a Lynbrook guy now, he's been there as long as he has and been as successful he has. So he's a Lynbrook guy through and through.
Absolutely.
We'll kick it off for the Golden Eagles.
So Bethpage will kick off. You see them going right to left.
Michael Fagan is back for the Owls.
Fagan deep for Lynbrook. And doing the kicking duties is Vinny Poggio for Bethpage. Opening kick takes a bounce, and it'll go into the end zone for a touchback. And the Lynbrook offense will take the field. We said Fagan was deep, and he's taking over the quarterback position this week. He's not the regular QB. Dante Quilka is, but Quilka tweaked his ankle a couple weeks ago, and obviously in this Lynbrook offense, as we'll see, being mobile is such an important part of the quarterback position. So Fagan stepping in, and just his second start at QB, but Cicero's quick to say, as talented a sophomore as he's ever coached.
That's quite a statement right there. He's coached some very good players at Lynbrook, and we'll see Lynbrook comes out here in a three-receiver set, trips formation to their right, the defense is left, with a single receiver over to the right-hand side. Their left, defense is right.
So Fagan, number 4, in shotgun as we're set up. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Fagan in motion. Cuts inside. He's stopped right away. Maybe a gain of 1, if that. Let's take a look at the Lynbrook offense.
Gain of 1 on the play.
We'll get to that in a moment. 2nd and 9. Rhea with the tackle for Bethpage. And even though there might be some new names in those positions, Mike, it's always difficult to run against the Bethpage team.
Traditional, the 4-4 front right here.
2nd and 9.
Very difficult team to run the ball against. Lynbrook back in the same formation they were before. Quarterback keeper on the first play. See what they dial up here.
So 2nd and 9. Fagan calls his own number, tries to cut outside, but it looks like he's hit for a loss of 1, which will put Lynbrook into a 3rd and long situation.
Tough situation tonight here, Dylan. The window Beth would be a factor all game long. Who has it, who doesn't have it. Everybody will get it for half a game. And it kind of appears right now Lynbrook's playing against it. Though it's swirling a little bit. And a pretty long yardage situation here for a sophomore quarterback. See what Coach Cicero ask him to do here in this situation.
Yeah, Fagan only 2 passes on the year. He's 1 of 2, though, for 15 yards. He's been more effective on the ground, 54 carries for just under 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fagan rolls out left, goes over the middle, just throws a ball, and it is caught just out near the 50. A jump ball, and that's exactly what you want if you're a Lynbrook, caught by Jake Barroso.
When you look here, Lynbrook was stuck in a long yard situation deep in their own end. Little quarter roll by Fagan. Kind of sees the receiver. Ball kind of hangs in the air, but the receiver does a great job going and getting it. Like I like to say, when the ball's in the air, it's half yours and half the other team's, and he went up and got it to be all his.
So big 3rd down conversion. 1st and 10 for Lynbrook from their own 49-yard line. This time Fagan rolls out right. Gets past a few tacklers into Bethpage zone, and you could hear the whistle as soon as Fagan went down. A good call by the officials. He was already down, and we'll confirm that here in this replay.
They're kind of in that trip set again, but they have that the running back or their H-back is kind of offset there, kind of creating an unbalanced line for them a little bit and giving the keeper to Fagan, trying to see what he can get. He found a little opening there and got a nice first down gain of almost 5 yards.
Second down at the Bethpage 47.
So they're at the Golden Eagles 47. Now the trips that you mentioned on the left for Lynbrook, as you could hear that wind swirl. Fagan, back to pass, throws over the middle. It's held up and intercepted at the 38-yard line, up the sideline and tackled out of bounds. And what a changing play there. Josh Rea with the interception for the Golden Eagles.
Great pressure there as he dropped back to pass. Looks like it was Colin Hervey was coming in and made a nice play on the quarterback, forced to throw. Ball hung in the air. And Bethpage makes a nice play with a quality return on it. They got great starting field position inside the 40-yard line of Lynbrook.
So you mentioned a sophomore quarterback for Lynbrook. Well, here you see number 7, Sean Smith, who has been a varsity player for about 3 days now, where he was called up from the JV. Multiple sport athlete, plays baseball as well. But Roddy McCoy's been really impressed with his smarts, and he's really impressed the coaches as well with his control of the game. Quickly hands off, a first down run, and a little bit more. Cucurullo is pushed out of bounds. What a first down run for Bethpage.
Bethpage comes out in their traditional double tight bone set, and they went blast left. Get two backs up in that hole and kind of storm the corner there a little bit, found an opening. Great first play on a turnover down right there. Momentum seems to be tipping pretty hard right now in favor of Bethpage right away off that turnover.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line.
Cucurullo, the ball carrier.
And Cucurullo, the carrier again, the junior. Mike, you'll love this as well. Tough kid, a lacrosse player. Older brother, Peter, played football and lacrosse here as well.
Sure, as the broadcast goes along, we'll talk a lot about some Bethpage traditions of having great high school football here with Coach Votes and Coach Dill over the years, and also having a very strong lacrosse program, very strong baseball program, and so many of their players were multi-sport athletes and did a variety of sports in one season.
So a loss of 1 there, 2nd and 11 for Bethpage on their first possession of the game. Handoff, driving left is Martinez, and he is taken down by Darwin Reyes, but he does get inside the 10.
A little more of a power eye look here. They kind of once again storm that corner a little bit, right? Trying to get a hat of the hat. The difficulty of the wishbone is when you get to the outside, you have your smaller defensive secondary players sometimes having to be blocked by bigger players such as tight ends and fullbacks and halfbacks. Tough situation for secondary players.
3rd and 3 from the Lynbrook 9 for Sean Smith. Inside handoff, pushing over the middle, inside of the 5.
Brian Super made the stop for the Owls.
Come back here with a little inside action, give the ball to the fullback inside, get a 4th down here and goal, 4th down here situation it appears. Nope, it's 1st and goal. I'm sorry, I apologize. 1st down for Bethpage. So they've been going outside, Dylan. They came back with an inside play, trying to establish some balance offensively.
It's a 1st and goal from inside the 5. Smith takes a glance over his shoulder and some movement on the line.
Flags are down.
Now for Bethpage, it's interesting because you've got a pair of sophomores called up from the JV on the right side of your line. The right guard, John Tengel, and the right tackle, Nick Elshami.
And it appears with that information, but early on, that Bethpage has ran left a few times behind Colin Hervey and James Jensen, a little bit bigger people and a little more experienced, and stayed to the left-hand side, even though they were kind of running into the boundary a little bit. But run behind the experienced horse that you have, right?
Check at the 9-yard line.
So procedure, a loss of 5, so first and goal from the 9 for Bethpage.
One of the tougher, first and goal situations. You're first and goal from the 9. Almost need a full first down to score. First and goal from the 4 would have been a little nicer.
Have the 3-back set. You've got Corbo 10, Martinez 24, and Cucurello 31. Handoff to Martinez. Finds a hole. Martinez! Touchdown, Bethpage!
They came back and they have a little left side run for the first few plays, inside with the fullback, and then they went to the right. A little blast to the right. And good push up front. Found a hole. Tough running. Dragging one tackler and running over another one to score a touchdown.
Well, that's what you get with Martinez. He'll give you those tough runs. He likes to get that head down, power through, and that's what he did for the 9-yard touchdown run. Poggio will go for the point after attempt for Bethpage. He's been good this year as well, has Poggio. 8 of 10 on the year, make it 9 of 11. So Bethpage capitalizes off a turnover, and they take a 7-0 lead with 6:47 left in the first quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
And welcome back to Howard C. Votes Field here on the campus of Bethpage High School. Golden Eagles with a 7-0 lead. Martinez, a 9-yard TD run, and that came off that Rhea interception, and an ideal start here for Bethpage. And Mike, the wind will play a factor here. You see it nearly dealing with Poggio's kickoff there as well. Gets it deep, takes a bounce, and it will go off the pylon and just out of bounds. That looked pretty good from up here. You could see even though there's limited spectators, their voices are being heard.
A little bit of controversy there. I think the Bethpage coaching staff, Coach McCoy and the Bethpage coach, are claiming that the ball hit the pylon, which they're claiming is part of the end zone, and the ball should be a touchback. Instead, the official threw a flag, and it appears that Lynbrook will be taking the ball in great field position at the 35-yard line.
So let's take a look. We mentioned before, we called to it before. We didn't get a chance to show it to you. Here's a Linbrook offense. We mentioned at QB, you see Fagan, Christian Mazzaros. He'll be a key guy. His first game back, or last week was his first game back after a labrum surgery. You see Chambers, Walker, and Barroso, as well as Quilka. Quilka, the normal QB, but tweaked his ankle a little bit. The guys up front, Kirby, Rivas, O'Hagan, Murphy, and Lunati to lead the way for Lynbrook. So the Owls, a 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Same setup, trips right. Fagan, hands off, and again, the Bethpage defense swarming on that play. It'll be a loss.
That time they went with a little handoff, Dylan, to Mistados, going to the left there, and tough sledding right there against the Bethpage defense. They'll move back and forth between an odd and an even front, it looks like, depending on what the set that Lynbrook is in, and the interior defensive line has been pretty stout so far.
Wiley made the stop.
We'll, after the next play, we'll show you the Bethpage defense. You see that was a loss of 4. Fagan again in gun. Tough handling. He's got to try to maneuver out of trouble. Gets stopped at about the 30. We mentioned the Bethpage D. Well, here they are. Here are your starters for the Golden Eagles up front. Espinal, Hagan, Jensen, and Hervey. Your linebacking core of Martinez, Corbo, Rea, and Cucurullo. And in the secondary, Burns, Auer, and Crum.
Early on here, Dylan, but kind of a big third down right here. You know, Lynbrook had a little momentum going. They threw the interception, unfortunately, and Bethpage scored. And now they're in a 3rd and 15.
Oh, nearly intercepted again. Pass was incomplete, so it's going to be a 3 and out for Lynbrook, and it's exactly the way you want to play defensively if you are Bethpage. You bent a little bit in that first drive, but here you get to stop on 3rd down.
Bethpage had pretty good coverage into the trips formation. Fagan ball was a little bit high, but if he would have caught that ball, he probably wouldn't have gotten too many yards. It still would have been 4th down, albeit a little closer.
Back to punt for Lynbrook.
Giovinco to punt. Oh, nearly blocked. And it's fumbled by Martinez. Ball is loose. Lynbrook says they have it, and they do.
Lynbrook, an interesting punting formation, came out with a little motion, a little rugby-style formation in the punt. A little sidewinder there from the punter. Tough ball to catch. Tough ball to catch in the conditions. Ball goes in the carpet.
Credit Mazzaros getting the ball. So a turnover led Bethpage to score in their first, and there's another look of it. You see Martinez just struggled to get it, and Lynbrook jumps on it. So now they've got a 1st and 10, and can they capitalize? Not just yet. As James Jensen comes in with the sack.
They're running a little quarterback power there. And Jensen comes in and makes the play for another pretty good loss.
Jensen, interestingly enough, coming into this week was a blocking tight end. He's been asked to now play on the line. He's a hockey guy. This is the first year he's been playing football since the 8th grade. Also a lacrosse goalie as well.
Pretty good play for a first-year football player in a few years.
Not bad, right?
We'll take that.
Fagan calls his own number, tries to break through, gets out to about the 45-yard line where he's taken down.
He pulled a couple linemen there, and Fagan kind of cut it back. He kind of didn't see it happening on the play side and kind of cut it back and got a few of the yards back. But once again, Lynbrook's in that tough yardage situation of 3rd and 12. You know, Coach Cicero, not a lot of great plays in any team's playbook anywhere on these kind of situations. Tough situation to call plays from.
So he's got Barroso on the bottom of your screen. 2 receivers on the bottom. Fagan again, rolls out right. Gets it to Mazzaros, and he is taken down. A good looking tackle there by Rea. It'll be well short of the 1st down marker.
I like that play call, though, because he had a little bit of pressure on earlier downs when he threw the ball. They kind of went into a max protect situation, kept the tight end in. Mistaro stayed in and had a little chip, and then released into the flat late. He kind of got a little lost, and they were able to get about 8 yards back. And now they're in a more manageable 4th down from Bethpage's 38-yard line. This is definitely a go-for-it situation here if you're Lynbrook.
Yeah, 4th and 6. They need to get out to the 33-yard line. That's where the 1st down marker is. Fagan rolls left, looks for options under pressure, goes over the middle. Another jump ball, and that is caught.
Fagan's pass is complete.
Jalen Walker comes down with it.
Great play.
Jalen Walker.
Ball's in the air a long time, but like I've said earlier, it's anybody's ball in the air, and he goes up and makes the play. Little Lynbrook with a little more of a max protect situation there, keeping tight ends in and releasing Mistaros a little bit late. Still a little bit of pressure in the quarterback's face by the Bethpage D-line, but he's able to deliver it.
Second big third down conversion for Lynbrook. They've got a fresh set of downs on the 20. Fagan loses the ball, and Bethpage comes away with it. So consecutive possessions where Lynbrook makes a big play, only for Bethpage to have the response defensively.
Donovan Martinez.
Tremendous play, ripping the ball out. Turnover circuit right there. There's your rip out. But it looks like Colin Hervey, number 51, might be either he ripped it out. He definitely falls on it. He's the recipient of the fumble. And great play by the Bethpage defense, creating a turnover right there.
Martinez, whose fumble on the punt gave Lynbrook that new set of downs, kept that possession alive, credited with the strip as well.
There you go. Between him and Herbie coming up with it. Great play. A lot of teams work on those turnover circuits, on those strip and rip drills and falling on fumbles and things like that. Good to see that it comes through once in a while.
So Bethpage scores off their first forced turnover. Let's see what they could do here. A bit longer of a field though to play with. 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Handoff, burst and left. There's Martinez again, and he'll get near the 35-yard line. Let's take a look at the Bethpage starters on offense, and we mentioned a lot of fresh faces this week. There you see Smith, Martinez, a larger role this week, Cucurolo, Corbo, wideouts, Burns, and Auer. Your guys up front, Hervey, Jensen, Koritz, and then Tangle and El Shami as well on that other side, that right side that we said was a little bit inexperienced. Good gain on first down, a 2nd and 3 for Bethpage. Smith looks to throw, goes over the top, incomplete. The intended receiver was Justin Crum. Let's take a look at the Lynbrook starters on defense after this replay.
Well, difficulty playing against Bethpage is they run, and then they release a player down the field, and all of a sudden there's the pass, right? And a little surprised and just a little overthrown.
Up front, Vivar, Murphy, O'Hagan, and Cologne, your backers. Onsis, Super, Rivas, and Cavassa. Onus and Cavassa playing up on the line with this wishbone offense. Reyes, Mazaros, and Murphy in the secondary. Third down run, trying to push it up the middle, out to about the 35, which will be close.
Handoff up the middle.
All depends what it ball. They give him the first down right there.
Mike Corbo, the ball carrier.
Yeah, the problem when you play against this wishbone offense is it's a double tight formation, Dylan, and so there's a bunch of gaps you have to defend. 6 gaps, on 3 gaps on each side, plus the edges. So it forces your defense to declare strength one way or the other. It looks like, at times, Lynbrook is declaring to the field, and the wider side of the field, and Bethpage has been running left to a little bit of a weaker side, though. They're running a 3-3 alignment here, the 6-2.
And Martinez wasn't down on that first contact. Super got a piece of him, a good chunk of him, but he does get out for another yard out to the 35-yard line.
Good defensive play there by Lynbrook's, hanging in there with more of a 6-2 alignment right now. 3 defensive linemen on each side, walk up some linebackers and 2 inside guys, and one of the only ways you can really defend this wishbone attack. And of course, what Bethpage will look to do is they'll run, and they'll see those safeties and corners start creeping up, and then you'll get your play action pass thrown in.
Final 30 seconds of this fast-moving first quarter. Handoff, run left. First down and more. Cutting inside and taken down was Will Mcmullen. Another sophomore up from the JV, and a huge play for a first down by Will Mcmullen.
Nice run by Mcmullen, but the blocking up front was tremendous. Great hook at the corner. Little reach there, and they get the corner, and he turns it up. game-saving, touchdown-saving tackle there by number 21 from Lynbrook. Kind of saves the touchdown right there, but good corner right there. They got the edge there and turned it up and got north-south.
And that'll be the first quarter. A big run by Mcmullen. The touchdown run, though, by Donovan Martinez. The difference right now is Bethpage leads Lynbrook 7-0. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Welcome back to Bethpage High School. Dylan Butler and Mike Hungerford here after the first quarter. Bethpage with a 7-0 lead. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Steam Squad Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. Got dirt, got stains, got stink. Get the Steam Squad. Book now and get 10% off when you mention this ad. SteamSquad.com, 516-567-8966. Optimum Pest Control. Protect your home with a company you can trust. Listen, we might be playing football, but it's mosquito season real quick, so get your 15% off the mosquito service until May 1st. Optimum Pest Control. And the Sandwolf Quarterback Academy. Sandwolf, they take care of your quarterbacks. You want to get your quarterback in the right hands? That's the Sandwolf Quarterback Academy, 804-986-2821. And finally, everyone likes swag, right? You like some swag, don't you? How about some Lynbrook swag as well? Your logo, so it's got to be perfect. The perfect product, perfectly printed and delivered on time. That's certainty, and it's our promise to you. Lynbrook swag right there on Main Street in East Rockaway. Second quarter, Bethpage now going left to right on your screen. Inside handoff, that looks to be Corbo, and he's eaten up by those big dudes up front. Mike O'Hagan, 77, getting a big piece, 6 foot 270 as a sophomore.
So Bethpage comes out and changes up on their formation at the end of the quarter. So-called breaks the bone, right? And they put two receivers out to the left, probably trying to see how Lynbrook reacts to it, how they align, run something inside, kind of safe to check that alignment. And then they'll look to dial up something possibly a little different based on what they see from the Lynbrook defense.
So a 2nd and 11 from the Lynbrook 20-yard line.
Back in the traditional double tight.
Yeah, Smith under center this time. Hands off. That's Martinez. 2 tacklers there, taking him down. One of them, you see there, Tyler Ippolito, number 33.
One thing the Bethpage coaches talked about was being comfortable. They've been in the spread a little bit last year and earlier this year, Dylan, and they went back to the bone. And the bone is a traditional offense at Bethpage High School for many years, and many great teams. And this group of Bethpage kids seems really comfortable in it. You know, getting after guys up front, trying to roll guys up. And those little gains right there, those little 2- and 3-yard gains, if they run enough plays in the 3rd and 4th quarter, those are 7- and 8-yard gains. They wear people out.
Yeah, it's not just this varsity team. That's Bethpage football through and through. PAL on up. Smith calls his own number, bounces to the outside. Touchdown! Sean Smith, his first varsity start and his first varsity touchdown.
And when option looked there, quarterback kept it with a pitch man. He turned it up, and there was plenty of green grass in front of him. Play very well blocked up, designed and blocked up by the Bethpage Golden Eagles right there.
For Sean Smith.
How's that for confidence, huh? Has about 3 days worth of trying to study that playbook. Great cut to the outside as well. Smith gets in for the 19-yard score.
He had a pitch man, Dylan, but early on he put that ball in the 5 points of pressure and put it away, and he was going north-south with it. I don't think he was going to pitch that ball. Great decision. What an exciting moment for that young man, scoring his first varsity touchdown right there. Awesome.
Poggio, that extra point, the hold was a little bit off. No good, but how about Sean Smith? The sophomore called up from JV. Again, the multiple sport athlete, there's a great look at him. seems to have a great control of the game. Good rapport with the kids as well. McCoy says, look, I asked him on Monday, you got to get 3 days of practice and then you got your first varsity start. By the way, it's on Varsity Media. You're live under the lights at Bethpage. He's like, I got you, coach. No problem. He's been nothing but receptive. And he's shown in practice, and certainly you'd have to say here, Mike, for the first quarter and change, he's got a pretty good control of the offense as well.
He's got a very good handle of what they're asking him to do. He's got very good understanding. You could tell already by his reactions, and just getting the team in and out of the huddle, getting them organized, getting them lined up, getting the counts down, the calls. Seems very good so far. Seems more of a seasoned varsity player than he may be.
Yeah, McCoy said, look, you mentioned the spread, right? And you go spread all of last year and into week 1 as well, or really into week 2 when you switch to the bone. They still want to give those spread looks, right, to keep the other team honest. But McCoy said, honestly, look, spread maybe it's a little bit too complicated this week. So he said to Smith and his coaching staff, let's simplify things a little bit. We'll go to those wishbone principles that, as you mentioned, Mike, you know it if you play football on any level at Bethpage. There's a kickoff fielded at the 25-yard line, and not much doing there. A good-looking tackle as Lynbrook will start Auer with the tackle, so Lynbrook will start on just past their own 30-yard line. Only a 3-yard return there for the Owls.
The ball was kicked fairly to the left, and the returner there tried to cut it back across the field. And almost, I actually thought he was going to get there for a second. It came in and made a nice tackle to hold the gains with much less yardage.
So Lynbrook with a 13-0 hole. And if you're an 0-3 team, you've got to stop that here. An important possession for Fagan. Rolls right, under pressure by Cucurello, and just throws it out of bounds.
Actually, really smart decision right there by Fagan. There's edge pressure. Bethpage brought an outside backer or a down safety, Cucurello, from to the field. Came off the edge and came unblocked. And, he couldn't get the ball out to the slot there. He just turned, ran a little bit to the right and threw it away. Lived to fight another down.
In a season where there's all kinds of adversity and challenges, whether it's injury or quarantine, Lynbrook also down a big player for them, James Gilmartin, 2-year starter on the offensive line as Fagan rolls right. He tries to cut inside, still gets the push though, and gets a lot closer to the first down marker than at first thought.
To about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, they pulled 2 linemen there and try to get around the corner with the guard tackle. 36. Quarterback following it. A little counter action by the quarterback, faking one way, one step, and then going behind those 2 offensive linemen. And on that far sideline, he stayed in bounds and kind of yacked it up a little bit. And very, very manageable 3rd and 2 right here for Lynbrook.
But did want to take that opportunity to give a shout out to James Gilmartin, the 6-foot senior, 2-year starter, separated his shoulder in week 2 against Roosevelt. LeCicero says he's an all-county type of player. Despite the fact that he's got that injury and he's got to obviously go to therapy, he schedules his therapy around his team's practices. He still wants to be there for his boys. 3rd and short. There's a flag on the play. So this one will likely come back. Fagan gets a first down run, but the flag came on the Bethpage side of the field.
I think we had a little illegal motion penalty. The man in motion, I think, turned it up before the ball was snapped. Either that or possibly motion or lined up incorrectly. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. Either way, it's going to be against Lynbrook, it looks like, negating that nice gain.
And that's a tough one, right? Those are always killers, especially on a 3rd down situation when you get the first down and you're down by 2 scores. You feel like you got some momentum. And Lynbrook's had a few of these, right, where they've converted on big 3rd down opportunities. But here you see again, the illegal shift is called, which now pushes Lynbrook back 5 yards to the 31-yard line.
It's really unfortunate. You had a first down there, and you kind of had a little motion that kind of drove the defense away one way, ran back the other way with the quarterback, and you had the first down. Now you're looking at 3rd and 7 here. See what Coach Cicero comes up with here with his offense.
Well, he's had the answer on 2 of his prior where similar plays kind of, right, just throws over the middle. He doesn't have those trips out there now, though. You've got 2 receivers on the top of your screen. Fagan fakes it, cuts it outside. Nice run by Fagan. First down and more. He's forced out. And another first down or 3rd down conversion for Lynbrook.
That will be a first down for Lynbrook.
See, here they ran the same play they just ran before out of a different formation without the motion, and Fagan gets the sideline there. Is into the boundary and is able to stay in bounds and get a nice gain for a first
Fagan
down.
stepped out of bounds at the 44-yard
Well, it does look like they brought it back a
line.
little bit, Dylan. He stepped out of bounds at one point, but still a
It is
first down
and 10
for the Owls.
So now on each of their previous big 3rd down conversions, there was a turnover immediately thereafter. So let's see here if Bethpage can turn it up defensively and get another turnover. There goes Fagan. And nothing doing there for the sophomore QB.
Same play going the other way, really. Little shuffle motion, the H-back across. Tried to get an extra blocker, but there was a little inside defensive line pressure there and kind of cut the play in half a little before it could get going.
Yeah, Corbo was the first in there at the middle linebacker spot. Hervey as well in on the tackle. It's a loss for Lynbrook. It's a loss of 2 on that first down opportunity.
The Bethpage linemen have been very impressive to me so far. You know, Hervey, always been around the ball, a few plays, very disruptive. You know, done a good job up front.
Cucurello coming hard. And there he is. Did he get him? He forced him to throw it out of bounds. The Bethpage coaches want an intentional grounding. There wasn't seemingly a receiver in that area, but Cucurello came from that weak side and nobody picked him up.
They're having a little difficulty bringing that extra player off the wide side edge there, just on a full sprint. He got a little quarter roll, and I think the officials are telling the Bethpage coaching staff that the ball was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage, which is the reason why the flag wasn't thrown. And the response from the Bethpage coaches is there was no receiver in the vicinity. So a little bit of beauty's in the eye of the beholder right there, Dylan. You know, depends how you see it.
Lynbrook will call the timeout. We'll keep it here. As we mentioned, we're at Howard Votes Field, and you don't have to look too far in the record books to see where Coach Vogt is in the all-time leaders. And there you see the good look at the sign for Howard C. Votes Field, and there are your all-time winningest coaches in Long Island history, and Votes right at the very top. 56 years at Bethpage High School, amassing 364 wins. A guy you know well right behind him, Buddy Krummenacher from Hempstead and Farmingdale, 38 years, 270. Richie Reichert, of course, retired at St. Anthony's. The late, great Tom Flatley as well, followed by Russ Sellen, Don Snyder. Hey, you know a stadium in his name over there at Farmingdale. Joe Sipp Jr., Tom Casase, and Fred Smith, Paul Longo. When you talk about like a Mount Rushmore of Long Island coaches, that is your group right there.
Tremendous coaches, and forget the wins. The winning percentages are all those guys are in the 70s, if not in the 80s. Percent winning percentage. Pretty amazing accomplishment, being that consistent all those men for such a long period of time.
And as you mentioned, I think like a Buddy Krummenacher, right? He follows Don Snyder, and he's got the success that he does. As Fagan rolls out under pressure, cuts inside, scrambles out just to the initial first down marker, so he'll get those 2 yards back, but Espinal the end, another guy called up from the JV makes the play.
A good play design there. They had a little arrow out in the flat, and they had a wheel, and one of the receivers running the wheel down the sideline, and Fagan just couldn't hold up and get the ball to him. There was great pressure from the Bethpage defense in that quarter roll to the wide side of the field.
So Giovinco back to punt for Lynbrook. They got a turnover on that last one, and nobody deep this time for Bethpage. This takes a nice Lynbrook bounce as well. Inside the 10, inside the 5, still rolling. They're trying to push it along, blow it a few. And the ball will get down. It looks like about the 3. You got to give the Lynbrook guys credit, man. They're trying everything they can do to get that ball a little bit further down, but they do get great field position.
That's an over 50-yard putt right there, dealing with the hit and the roll. And Bethpage, I think, was a little concerned about whether Bethpage was going to fake it there and go for it. They elected to keep everyone up front and nobody back. And for the Lynbrook guys, they got a great roll out of it, and they put the Bethpage offense in a very difficult situation coming off the goal line.
And now, if you're LaCicero, you desperately need to stop here, especially considering the field position. You can't allow Bethpage to go the distance of the field and score here in the final 7 minutes of the first half.
Well, if you're Lynbrook, you flip the field, right? You put Bethpage in a tough spot offensively. You're able to punt it and get some great yardage. Nobody's got an offensive player in their playbook, Dylan, that gets 50 yards, right? But the punt got them 50 yards. And now if you're the Bethpage guys, you got to get out of your own end zone and not turn the ball over. Maybe try to get a couple first downs. And if you have to punt the ball back, you've regained the field.
An important snap here for the backup center. Smith hands off. They do at least get out of the end zone, and they get a little more. That's that power back Martinez that we've talked about. Previous to this, he would split some reps with Patrick Dalton, who's been Bethpage's do-it-all guy. Good straight line runner. He's a physical runner. He invites that physicality that you saw there. An important run there. You go from out of your end zone, and now you can breathe a little bit, getting past the 10-yard line.
My first time seeing him run the ball. He runs the ball with a little bit of anger. He's got elbows and shoulder pads it down, north-south, getting the knees up. Got to love it.
Going inside this time looks to be to Corbo.
Corbo, the ball carrier.
And not much doing. They've struggled with that interior to the fullback handoff where the Lynbrook front has been stout.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to put the ball in there, and maybe you're not going to, you keep it inside, keep the offense balanced a little bit. Maybe you're not going to get your 5 or 6 right there, but your 1, 2, or 3 just keeps the defensive coordinator from Lynbrook kind of off balanced. And now you come back to one side, the other a little more to the outside. Been pretty successful running some blast-style plays just inside the tight end.
So a gain of 1 on that play, 2nd and 9. Smith hands off. Then again, that push forward by Martinez out towards the 20-yard line.
Had a little bit of stalemate at the point of contact there on the left side, and he kind of bounced it back inside and got a nice little gain out of it. Pretty manageable 3rd and 4 here for Bethpage.
18-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Bethpage once again, took a tight end and had a split end there, and try, I guess, probing and seeing how Lynbrook would line up against certain formations outside of a double tight bone set that they're traditionally in.
Credit Ippolito with the tackle. Came into this game with a team-high 13 through the first 3 games of the year.
Nice play there, getting the runner on the ground there.
Handoff run left. And it'll look to be short there of the first down marker.
Just a little bit short there, Dylan. That was a nice run. The runner kind of knew what he needed. At the last second, he kind of dove there a little bit and tried to get it and just came up a little bit short.
Marked on the 21-yard line.
That was Will Mcmullen. We saw that big play earlier by him, the sophomore.
It'll be 4th and
so a 4th and 1. Smith is also your punter. Not that you'd necessarily call maybe a trick here, but again, you've got your quarterback as your punter, so you've always got that possibility, and he's not lining up here to punt it. They're going to go. And they get the first down.
Great job right there. Great execution. They consistently run to the left-hand side there to their veteran lineman.
And that'll be good enough for Golden Eagle. First down.
See, you look what happens here.
Bethpage at the 25-yard line.
Just kind of putting both guys to that left-hand side on a little blast play right there with your two backs and hand it to the other one and get up inside. What a boost to your offensive line, right? When you're the coach and you say, guys, it's 4th and inches inside my own 30-yard line, and we're going. There was no hesitation there by Coach McCoy. We're going to go. We trust you to get us what we need to keep the ball in our hands and not put the defense in a bad situation, right? If you're an offensive lineman, the kind of stuff you live for, those opportunities.
Now, you mentioned those veterans on the left side. It's the left tackle, Colin Hervey, and James Jensen, the left guard. Both are seniors, and they come up here with that big play. Another look of it from down low. You can see the push that they provide here on the left-hand side.
Yep, they're underneath guys' pads. You can see them there, the low man. The Lynbrook guys a little bit higher, right? Bethpage guys get under their pads, getting some drive going, and getting just what they need for the first down.
You mentioned at the start 15 players in quarantine, several starters, 4 on the offensive line. You wouldn't know it the way that they're getting the push here tonight. But that also includes Patrick Dalton, who's been the best player for Bethpage through 3 weeks. How about these numbers? 342 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns, and 2 interceptions as well. So you're forced then to call up 14 players on JV on a short week. They simplify the playbook, but the most important thing that Roddy McCoy says is, look, we're a family. We build this family of the tradition, and it's you're just up for your brother, right? There's no excuses. No one's going to feel sorry for you. We've got to find a way to beat Lynbrook no matter who's in the field.
No doubt, and you can see here, but they're pretty seasoned with what they're running, and they've done a good job plugging those guys in and keeping it, football and giving them an opportunity to succeed. I think sometimes, football, we try to overcomplicate it sometimes. Coaches can overcomplicate it. We're all guilty of it, and in its basic core, it's blocking and tackling, right? And here you have to see the Bethpage guys they're blocking, and they're forcing the Lynbrook guys to tackle, right?
Short gain there on first down. It's a gain of 1.
Cucurello, the ball carrier.
Cucurello
One on the play.
with the gain. So he'll get out to the 26-yard line as there's under 4 minutes left here in the first half.
Got a split end here out to the right. See if that means.
So Smith hands off to that left side, and again, couple yards to be gotten. Timeout by Lynbrook
again, the ball carrier.
on the play. Cucurello again,
of Lynbrook.
the ball carrier. When we spoke with Steve Lucicero about Bethpage, he said, look, they are an excellent team. At the beginning of the year, they were in spread, 4 wide, 3 by 1, but they're back in the wishbone. They look comfortable in the wishbone. They do it really well, and they look, he said, like a completely different team. And they're a team, too, where when you're defending them or you're preparing to defend them, he says to his kids, listen, they're going to go to the line and they're going to call something, but they also then read your defense and they'll run something else. So you always got to be on your toes defensively against the Bethpage Golden Eagles team. He says, historically, we've had a lot of success against them, but sometimes you just give it up to Bethpage, bigger, stronger, better. But he said this is a really good Bethpage team.
You can see right now that even with some different players in the lineup, the wishbone is, like I said earlier, very hard to defend. A lot of gaps, makes you change your alignment. When you're running your scout offense against your defense in practice, if you're a spread offensive team, kind of like looks like Lynbrook was more of, it's a little difficult for your scout guys to replicate the looks in practice and doing really well. A lot of little nuances and the physicality. Sometimes it's easy to prepare for and hard to play.
3rd and long, some movement, no flags, and what a hit there as well. Let's get a number on that. It looked to be Rivas, 52, laid the hammer, the senior. Lynbrook will know the timeout.
I think the Bethpage coach who were asking for maybe he was offside, but he timed it up pretty good, and that was a scraping linebacker right there, came across and with a big hit, brought the running back down for a short gain. And then 4th and, almost, probably 7.5. Interesting decision here by the Bethpage coaching staff.
Good look there at the tackle by Rivas, the 5'7", 200-pound senior, the linebacker. And, Lynbrook, you see them there in the huddle. LeCicero says, we knew that there'd be some growing pains and he says, look, we are a smaller school, right? But we don't carry a roster like that. We're usually in the 55s, 60s. He said this is the smallest roster that he's had. Not only do you had 8 guys who were slated to be starters, they just moved. Like, they're still in high school, but some moved to Deer Park, some moved to North Bab. You had other guys who opted not to play football this year for other sports. But again, they're in a situation, he's not complaining. It's just next man up mentality, and a timeout here by Bethpage.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're Coach LeCicero, you got to be pretty happy. On the previous play, here they just went for it on 4th down. They lined up, and they had a little long count and tried to draw Linbrook off sides, and Linbrook didn't budge. But on the previous play, when you got a guy like Rivas making plays like that and coming and scraping inside out, and, no quitting any of these Lynbrook kids at all. They're playing as hard as they can go, and that's a great. You got the linebacker's dream right there, scraping off, finding the ball carrier, having a big blow up, trying to turn that guy into a hood ornament or something, right? You know what I mean? Trying to get after him, and that's a linebacker's dream, and they're competing, and like Steve said, numbers are different this year, and this is one of those unique situations, Dylan. We're playing football in March. April 1st, right? Everything's very different, and it's not the usual season, and hats off to these kids being able, and the coaches being able to get this done, because it's not an easy situation for everybody involved.
Yeah, what is it, opening day of the baseball season. Hockey's still well in their regular season. College lacrosse is playing, and we've got week 4 of the football season.
Everything going at once. a sports fan's dream right now.
Right?
You got it all going at once.
So 4th and long, and again, they did go for it here on their last opportunity. Smith again, also a punter, but they look again to go. Smith back to pass, looks for options. Finds a receiver, but is just short of Burns. The pressure came as well by the guys up front, so Lynbrook forced the turnover and in good field position at that.
Yeah, coming out of that timeout, I kind of thought Bethpage would wind up and punt it, but they went for it. Good pressure by Lynbrook. They had a little stagger and go by the Bethpage receiver by the split, and if there wasn't pressure there, he might have been able to hook that play up. But the pressure from the defensive line of Lynbrook caused that underthrown ball and a turnover.
So here's an opportunity for Lynbrook, right? We talked about getting back at least in the scoreboard, and they're down by 2 scores. You see here in the bottom of your screen, 3:06 left in the first half, and they've got great field position as well, starting from the Bethpage 29-yard line.
Great opportunity here for Lynbrook to get, it's 13-0, and they haven't moved the ball all that much, but it's a great opportunity here to get right back in the mix here.
Empty backfield for Fagan. Rolls to his right. And nearly intercepted.
Fagan's pass is incomplete.
Walker was the intended receiver, but overthrew. Credit Crum on the breakup.
Great read by the safety there, coming over the top to make a play on the ball on the sidelines.
It'll be 2nd down.
Now remember too, Quilka, who we saw lining up in the bottom of your screen, he's the usual QB. So if you think maybe of a potential trick type of play, well, Quilka here, you see him number 2. He could line up and do that. He's tweaked his ankle a couple weeks ago. You can see the sun setting here at Bethpage High School. He could be an option for something out of the LeCicero trick playbook. Again, empty backfield. Fagan looks for options. Rolls to his right, puts the ball down, and not much there. In fact, it looks like he might have lost a yard as well on that scramble.
Kind of rolling there, quarter rolling to the short side of the field there. Kind of limits your options a little bit, and great pass coverage by the Bethpage defense, not giving an open look, an open receiver, and you can see the Fagan being cautious with the ball. Only a sophomore, It's like his the quarterback on the other side from Bethpage.
Yeah.
2 sophomores playing quarterback here tonight, and never an easy situation playing varsity football quarterback in the sophomore in high school. And he made a good decision not to just throw a ball in a bad place and create a turnover here.
You got 2 receivers on the bottom of your screen, one up top. Fagan. Again, the pressure comes. Good looking ball. End zone. Oh, just missed.
Higgins pass.
Walker stopped his run. He tried to pick it up late.
Incomplete.
There is a penalty, though, on the play.
Flag is down on the field.
Interestingly enough, they went for the long ball there, and the defender kind of went through his hands. I thought the receiver might have made a play on it. Just kind of missed it right there. Just had enough. I think the defender there had just enough of the ball to deflect it a little bit away.
Flag looks to be against Lynbrook, and looking at the Bethpage sideline, they're going to look to decline this penalty, which will bring up a 4th down.
Penalty against Lynbrook. That penalty is declined.
Procedural penalty there.
Get 4th down.
Probably wind up incorrectly a little bit on the offensive line, between the line and the receivers. Either too many or not enough men in the backfield. So Bethpage declines the penalty rather than replay the down and gives them 4th and 11. Another one of those tough downs. Seems like Lynbrook's been in some of those long yardage situations tonight. Converted a couple of them, made a couple of nice plays.
Yeah,
so.
early on. They have to get inside get to the 19 to get a 1st down here. Under 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
Bethpage playing a little soft coverage here with like a 4 deep look, 3 under.
Mazzaros was the man in motion. Here come the Golden Eagles. The throw over the middle is incomplete. But credit those guys up front. The blitz comes and causes Fagan and Lynbrook to turn the ball over.
Well, right there, they showed up. They showed a 3 under, 4 deep look, and then they creeped up, and they had a couple creepers come, and they had a little blitz coming out of it, and created some pressure. And the ball would have been caught short. I don't know if he would have been able to run around and gain the 1st down, but incomplete pass, unfortunately, for Lynbrook.
So Bethpage, off that turnover on downs, will start on their own 30-yard line. You've got 1:52 left in a 1st half. That on the scoreboard certainly very much in Bethpage's favor. Martinez and Smith with touchdown runs to lead the way.
So in many situations, teams maybe being what they call a 2-minute drill, right? 2-minute offense here, but I think knowing what Bethpage is familiar with, they'll stick with the bone. See if they can break a run here and pop something here and get something started on a short drive here.
Smith on their center. They just go over the middle. About a yard on that run. And the clock will just continue to churn.
Just go and dive into the fullback right there. If you're Bethpage, you got to be pretty content. The fact that you're playing with a bunch of kids who come up with a JV. A week ago, they were playing in a JV game. Right now, they're starting in a varsity football game. Sophomore quarterback, your best offensive player is not playing as well, and you're up 13-0, and the clock is spinning towards halftime. You probably want to get to halftime. You're pretty happy with the situation that you're in.
2nd and 9 for the Golden Eagles. Handoff to Martinez. Bounces to the left. Breaks a couple tackles and gets a few more. He's a tough guy to take down. He gets past the 35 as the clock continues to run. Under a minute left in this 1st half.
Ball goes out to the 38-yard line.
The Bethpage guy's running left again.
And 3.
See some great blocks up front there, and they're able to get some yards. And Martinez, he'll block a guy himself, When you're in this wishbone offense and there's so many defenders in the box, a lot of times the running back with the ball is going to have to block one man himself, either with a cut or with a collision. And Martinez, he'll block a guy himself, that's for sure. He'll run a guy over. Tough running.
So they only have to have this last play here of the 1st half, and it'll be an inside handoff.
Handoff to Corbo.
Corbo gets out to just about the 40-yard line, but that will be the final play of the first half.
Well, that will end the first half.
So a good first half
Score,
for Bethpage. Again,
13.
a team that brought up 14 kids from the JV, and you've got other guys in bigger positions this week, including including Martinez, who gives you that 7-0 lead earlier off that Rhea interception, and then Smith with that 19-yard touchdown run as well. The point after was no good, but that's your score. It's Bethpage leading Lynbrook 13-0 here at the half. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang. McKee, first down and more. Charlie McKee. Touchdown, Oceanside.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050. Island sports fans, now is the time to ensure you don't miss out on your athletes' games. Varsity Media is available to live stream any game, any event, any level, anytime. Reach out to Varsity Media today to learn more about live streaming services. 516-403-2050 or visit us at www.varsitymedia.net. Island sports fans, now is the time to ensure you don't miss out on your athletes' games. Varsity Media is available to live stream any game, any event, any level, anytime. Reach out to Varsity Media today to learn more about live streaming services. 516-403-2050 or visit us at www.varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Bethpage High School. Strike up the band. We're at halftime here. The Golden Eagles with a 13-0 lead over Lynbrook, and we'll take a look at how they've built that 13-0 lead. It started off of Rhea interception, and then Martinez. We mentioned he's in a situation this week with Patrick Dalton out. He's getting a lot more carries, and here you see his. Or we'll show you right now his 9-yard touchdown run that put Bethpage up 7-0 in the first half. And again, Josh Rhea helped lead the way there with an interception, and Bethpage jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Lynbrook moved the ball. They had two big third down conversions, but each time they did, they turned the ball over. And how about this for a success story from the first half? A sophomore in his first varsity start, Sean Smith, not only is he running the Bethpage offense, but he's also finding the end zone as well. Smith, a 19-yard touchdown run to give Bethpage, here you see it, the 13-0 lead, and good-looking run by the sophomore, and he was jacked up, of course, to find the end zone. First varsity start, check. First varsity touchdown, check. And Bethpage has the 13-0 lead. We'll take a quick break and we'll bring it back for the start of the second half. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Your Bethpage Varsity kick line.
Great stuff there by the Bethpage Varsity kick line, and a really entertaining halftime here at Bethpage. You got the band going, the cheerleaders, and the kick line as well. And here at Varsity Media, we want to thank our sponsors for tonight's broadcast. The Steam Squad, carpet and upholstery cleaners. You got dirt, got stains, got stink. Get the Steam Squad. Book now. Get 10% off when you mention this ad. Also, Optimum Pest Control. Protect your home with a company that you can trust. 15% off mosquito service until May 1st. Optimum Pest Control. 516-509-8362. We'd also like to thank the Sand Wolf Quarterback Academy. You're a quarterback here on Long Island. You want to be in good hands? Sand Wolf Quarterback Academy will take care of you. They'll get you ready to be on that next level. Sand Wolf Quarterback Academy. And last but certainly not least, everyone loves some swag, right? How about Lynbrook swag? It's your logo. So it has to be perfect. The perfect product, perfectly printed, delivered on time. That's certainty, and it's Lynbrook swag's promise to you. You can get them out there on Main Street in East Rockaway. We thank all of our sponsors for this broadcast here tonight. Flag on the opening kickoff of the second half. And this will be against Bethpage. And Mike, while they sort out this flag, of course, Mike Hungerford, assistant coach at Farmingdale, a short little traverse here from Bethpage High School. Wanted to get your thoughts a little bit on what you saw here from both teams in the first half.
Yeah, entertaining first half of play here. You know, the Bethpage had the better part of the offensive action. A couple big plays for Lynbrook. A couple of balls on third down, keeping drives going. But Bethpage had pretty consistent drives. Interestingly enough, their left side of their line is veteran players, and their right side tends to be a little bit more of younger players. And both their touchdown runs will run to the right behind Tango and Alchami. Interestingly enough, the right side of the line, but more of the plays have been run left. And I think if you're Lynbrook, you know, and you coach Cicero, you got to get back in the game one down at a time, right? So you kicked off, and all right, here we go, and one down at a time, you got to crawl your way back in and get the ball back and get some offense going.
That's that wishbone look again with Smith under center. Hands off. They get the push right up the middle, and there's Martinez, right, just churning those legs, continuing the push forward out towards the 40-yard line.
Good start for Bethpage on first down, getting a long 5, almost 6 yards. Boom, getting some good push up there on the left-hand side where the veterans are, you know, where the veteran side is.
Got a nice block as well by Cucurello, who came in. He's one of those three options in the backfield and came in and joined the big dudes up front to get the push.
One thing about the wishbone, you got to be a ball carrier and you got to be a blocker.
There you see Martinez coming into this game. Very much that secondary option to Dalton, but he's the man here tonight. His jersey is now an extra large with that extra tug from behind, but he gets out towards the first down marker, and he does get a fresh set of downs.
They come to the left again.
Tackled by John Rivas.
Kind of jammed up in there. He kind of bounced it, and then Rivas is pulling on the back of his jersey, trying to pull him back, but his legs are churning, and that's what you want out of your running back, right? Leg drive, low pad level, forward lean, ball security. Great run for the first down.
Hervey, that left tackle, opening up the hole. There's a cut inside, and forced out of bounds was number 11, Will Mcmullen. He's a good story too, Mcmullen. Another one of these sophomores who's up. His older brother is Stephen Mcmullen, and that's where McCoy thinks he gets his toughness from, kind of being that younger brother, always battling your older brother, right? But an excellent wrestler as well since the 8th grade, and really in the few days that he's had varsity practice, the coaching staff on the whole has been extremely impressed just with his physicality, his ability to battle, and he's earning his minutes here as well. Inside handoff out towards the 50-yard line.
Looked like straight dive right there up inside. Every few plays, they bring it back up in tight.
Ball out to the 49-yard line.
Everybody taking their steps.
It'll be 3rd and 5.
Getting on a man. Fullback with forward lean. Full 5 yards there, giving them a very manageable 3rd and 5 right here. You might be in 2-down territory if you Bethpage right now. They went for it before, Dylan, in a much more not a great situation, field position-wise.
Like Martinez, Corbell is asked to do a little bit more here tonight, and he's done just that. There is Martinez. Again, bounces to the outside, gets the push as well. First down. Martinez churning the legs inside the Lynbrook 40.
I said before, if you're an offensive lineman, you're pretty happy on 4th and inches when coach decided to run the ball and go for it again, right? Well, once again, you're pretty happy when you got a running back like Martinez, right? They're pulling him and dragging him, and his feet are moving. And he's the kind of guy you want to block for if you're an offensive lineman.
And you mentioned the right side, right? Tangle and El Shami. That's the way that he went again here. He goes right side, and he gets the push from 2 more of those sophomores in, not only in their first varsity appearance up from the JV, but also their first varsity start, and it's big, especially on that offensive line. First down run. Martinez bursts through. He'll get about 5 more. He's taken down at the 35-yard line.
Looks like a little bit, though. They may be flipping the linemen a little bit, Dylan, every now and then, and moving the left side to the right and the right side to the left. That's commonly done in the Navy spread teams, or in the Navy version of the wing T. They flip linemen sometimes. I'm not sure if Bethpage is consistently been doing that. I'm going to take a little closer look at him in the next few downs.
Well, McCoy said there's going to be a lot of movement on the offensive line. He might not have the ability to rotate a lot of guys in, but there will be a good amount of movement there as well. So 2nd and 5. Smith again under center. And this time the Lynbrook D pushes back.
They have flipped those guys around a little bit. The left side guys are on the right now, and the right side guys are on the left. So they have been doing some of that movement of linemen.
This time Rivas comes up with the big tackle, 52. There you see him kind of coming in underneath, and then he gets help as well by Vivar, number 30. He's the one that we talked about at the start of this game, our player to watch.
And number 70, Sean Colon, in there as well. Kind of like 52, John Rivas. He's got that look. Filling. You know, when you're playing a wishbone offense team, you got to be a filler. You got to come downhill and you got to fill gaps and take on offensive linemen.
Oh, and that's a killer if you're Lynbrook. You can see the jump there. Not sure if it was on the count by Smith, but you see the penalty and offside by Lynbrook.
Cadence is a huge factor in the game. You know, the defensive players will start timing up the snap, especially on a running team like Bethpage and the wishbone and the bone, and they'll time it up. So you use cadence and try to get him off balance and catch him off sides, and now you have a nice 3rd and 2 as opposed to 3rd and 7.
Smith hands off. Martinez juked outside, a crisp cut back inside. He'll get out to the 25-yard line and moves those chains again.
Just grinding plays out here, Bethpage, right? 3 downs, you know, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. Dylan, get your first down every time, right? So it shortens the game. The clock keeps moving, and they keep the ball moving, keep it out of Lynbrook's hands, and like I said earlier, those 2.5 yard runs become much longer runs as time goes by.
We thought we'd have Thursday night lights. Yeah, you can see some of the lights there as we approach nightfall here. You don't normally see that, right, in week 4 this late, but as you said, we're seeing things we've never seen before in the football season. And what we're seeing now is a great performance here by Donovan Martinez, the 5'8" senior, 172 pounds, and he's got the motor. He's been rested. He hasn't been the main guy in the first 3 weeks, but he is here tonight. He gets a couple more yards on that run.
You're definitely in 4-down territory if you're Bethpage right now. So 2 yards doesn't really stop you. You get 3 more downs to get 8, and wearing on the defense. The toll it takes on the defense when they have to constantly deal with that pounding, punishing running attack by Bethpage. Certainly wears on you.
Mcmullen came in there after that play for Cucurello. Handoff up the middle. Went to Martinez again, and this time Martinez wrapped up well.
The ball carrier. Rocco Murillo made the stop for Lynbrook. Along with
Fake,
Sean
hand the ball off to him up inside. Keeping it tight.
Down and 5.
Getting 3 more yards. You got 3rd and 5. Probably have 2 downs to get this long 5 right here if you're Bethpage and Coach McCoy. Thinking about 2 downs, this down, and what are you doing on 4th down? Try to get at least 3 here.
Sean Colon, the big senior DN with the tackle, and no one's getting a tackle here. Touchdown, Bethpage. There's that man again, Martinez with the TD run.
Great run by Martinez, Dylan. Downhill, squared pads, up in the hole. Good stuff.
His 2nd touchdown run of the game. He came into this game with 1 on the season. Give him 3 now.
Great blocking at the point of attack up front by the Bethpage offensive line, creating big holes, and you get those big runs. You get 2s and 3s, Dylan, 2s and 3s, 2s and 3s, and as the defense gets tired, you pop one, and next thing you know, you got a much longer run. Going for 2 here, Bethpage.
Yeah, they want to make up for that point after that they left. They go back to Martinez and blast right through. So he gets the 2-point as well as the 21-yard touchdown run as well. And he extends Bethpage lead to 21-0. Donovan Martinez leading the way for the Golden Eagles. There's no stopping him right now. He's got Bethpage out 21-0 with 4:44 left in the 3rd quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports.
We welcome you back to Bethpage High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here, and it's been the Donovan Martinez show right now. He's got Bethpage up ahead. That's right, Donovan, it's your night so far. 2 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion as well, and 21-0 the lead for Bethpage.
Martinez, just another one of those tough Bethpage kids, it looks like. They seem to have a whole bunch from here at Bethpage High School over the years. Many great players over the years. The Testers, A.J. Hogan, a quarterback, Robbie Kasha, the Breton family. All these tough guys have come to the program here at Bethpage, and Martinez, just stamp that on him right there. He's as tough as they come, it looks like to me.
Yeah, in our conversation with Roddy McCoy, he said, look, this is a community, Bethpage, built on hardworking parents and kids. They're blue-collar, they're grinders. The community changes, but the love of football remains the same, and that's something that he said he learned both from Votes and Dill as well, that you're to never give up, that you're a Golden Eagle through and through, and look, it's a next man up mentality, and Martinez is making the most of that chance. Lynbrook desperate here for a response, and they'll work the ball up the middle on 1st down.
Give the ball to Fagan there off the GT. Pull a little motion to get the defense. We'll fake the motion and bring both the guard and tackle back, and the GT, a little play that made pretty popular by the Oklahoma Sooners the last couple of years with the guard tackle action coming back.
You can see here the Bethpage defense, they've been stout all year long. Only 3 touchdowns given up in 14 quarters. And we'll get a second after this play. I could tell you more, too, even with last year, about how well they played despite their record. The run goes to the left side. Mazzaros with the run. Now, last year, Bethpage 2-6. But McCoy says, look, we might have been one of the best 2-6 teams that Conference 3 has seen in a while. Consider this. They lose the south side on a last-second field goal. They were leading Wantagh. They were stopped at the 5. Wantagh then drives 95 yards in 8 minutes of the fourth quarter to beat Bethpage. They lost to Mineola, a game-winning drive with 3 minutes left, and then North Shore in a crazy back-and-forth game. That's 5 of their 6 losses by 17 points combined. So you one play here, one play there. You go from 2-6 to maybe 4-4 or better. All kinds of pressure here, and again, that defense coming up huge.
Couple things you watch Bethpage play. If you see it from a coaching perspective, you really like about them defensively. They play with a lot of energy. A lot of intensity. They seem to obviously line up in all the right places, but they get people to the football. Gang tackling, getting a lot of hats near the football, a lot of great pursuit, and those are all hallmarks of good defense. And you can do those things in high school football, down after down, 4 seconds at a time. You're going to put yourself in a good spot a lot of the time. Those are pretty amazing numbers you just quoted. To lose 5 games by 17 points is very hard, but yet it also says a lot about your kids, how hard they're playing all the time.
One guy playing really hard here tonight as well is 50, James Jensen. He had that sack there, the 6'2", 223-pound senior, making the most of his only varsity football season. Run goes to the outside, and again, just pursuit of the ball. Multiple players in on that tackle. Mike Auer, 16, with the tackle for Bethpage.
Great job. They run a little jet sweep here. They've been running some jet sweep action and running back opposite the jet sweep. This time they hand it off, and they're able to get a pretty good block at the point of attack, but then pursuit, like we talked about, I just said a few seconds ago, they had great pursuits of the football, and they gang tackle the ball and get it on the floor. Great job defensively by Bethpage.
This pushes Lynbrook back to their own 25-yard line, so 3rd and 19. They got to get out to almost Stewart Avenue at this point.
Not many plays in the playbook can do that. You just got to get some of the yards back. Oof.
They try to go to Walker, and you can see they're buzzing defensively. That was Corbo, the linebacker, 10.
Intended for Jalen Walker.
Some footsteps heard there by Walker.
Trying to give the quarterback some time by quarter rolling him and helping the protection. He's able to get the ball out into the flat. But the outside linebacker coming in down, it looks like an incomplete pass there.
And it was Martinez again, huh? Martinez was the first in, Corbo the second. And that's going to force Lynbrook here to punt the ball. Giovinco to do so. He's had some success, though. Had a big 55-yard punt. Kind of goes rugby style and will take, well, almost took a Lynbrook bounce. I thought it was down first at the 45.
The punt is down at the 45
and it was.
line of Lynbrook.
Martinez closed on that football defensively about as hard as he runs with it offensively. I'll tell you that, Dylan. He's been the star of the show tonight.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of as advertised when we spoke to Roddy McCoy. He said, look, somebody's got to fill the void by Patrick Dalton, and he said Martinez would be the guy we would call upon to do so, and he certainly did. Look, he missed week 1. He was quarantined in week 1, but again, 13 carries for 103 yards and a touchdown through 2 weeks of kind of being that secondary guy. This week he is the guy, and he is paying major dividends right now. 2 touchdowns to this point. We see the work, too, that he's doing on the other side of the ball. Well, Bethpage has an excellent opportunity here in the final minute 19 of the third quarter to really extend their lead. They start from the 45-yard line, and it's again Martinez, but this time he was wrapped up pretty well from behind. Cologne with the tackle.
Cologne coming down off the edge, scraping down at the defensive end, getting the play from behind. Kind of an unaccounted for player in that scheme, I think. Being able to make that play. gain of 2, but as we get to the end of the quarter, Dylan, we start to see, Bethpage 21-0, kind of in control of the game. And now with their running attack, churning out yards and giving each back a turn to run with it and trying to have some balance there where they're attacking left, middle, right, inside, outside.
Smith back to pass. He's got a man. It's complete. First down and more towards the 10-yard line. Crum with the reception.
Great play design right there, Dylan. Like we said earlier, run, and then they'll throw the ball.
35 yards, Smith to Crum.
He's in a tight end spot, and he runs a little corner route. If the defender's creeping up, run. Coach, we got to get to the ball, and we'll play action. He sneaks in behind it for a huge pass play.
Crum's older brother, Jonathan, a soccer player here at Bethpage as well. Great looking reception by Crum, who's generally or usually a running back. Also a basketball player. We saw the basketball team earlier this year. And Bethpage, they moved the chains, really looking to get a score here at the end of the third quarter. Inside handoff. Corbo, the ball carrier.
Rivas and Cologne made the stop for Lynbrook.
Rivas Cologne. Timeout by Bethpage with 9 seconds left in this quarter. We mentioned Bethpage and their year this year, 2-1, again, coming into this game. When we talk tradition, and we've talked about it a lot, ridiculous numbers, right, for Bethpage. 16 Nassau County championships. Their first, a shared one with Freeport back in 1972, and 5 Long Island championships as well. But we spoke off air, Mike, when you look at that run in the late 80s and the early 90s, I mean, there was no more dominant program than Bethpage High School.
Yeah, they had a great run in the 90s, from winning in 1990 and then 93, 94, 95, 96. Really just dominating. One year they're actually in Conference 4. I don't know by how many students they were in Conference 4, but it was pretty unfair with the athletes they were able to line up with, and multi-sport athletes, lacrosse players, baseball guys, some really good football first guys, but tremendous tradition, and you'd pick up the paper the next day and then have a lot of yards out of that wishbone.
Now the funny thing here too is McCoy was the quarterback. He graduated in 94. He's part of that Bethpage. He was the quarterback for that first Long Island championship team in 93. In 92, LeCicero was an assistant coach at Lynbrook, and they beat McCoy in the Nassau championship game as well. So there's connections between these coaches, and they kind of remind each other as well, right, from time to time. Handoff, run left. Great blocking inside, bouncing to the outside. Touchdown, Mcmullen. Corbo with a great block up front. And Mcmullen does the rest.
They toss that ball to Mcmullen, and he does the rest is right. Good blocking up front. You see the tight end starts on number 70. They get a little chip on him by the back and kind of gets him reached. He gets the corner, and then you have Mcmullen just sprinting to the touchdown. Another sophomore scoring, probably his first touchdown, right? You would say, Dylan, first of his varsity career. Was he
yeah, I mean, he's only had, 3 quarters, not even 3 quarters, full quarters of varsity action. So what a success story here tonight for Bethpage. And again, just a little bit of a mix-up on the snap. But Poggio, what a great job he did there, too. The hold came down, and Poggio made sure he did the rest. 28-0 for Bethpage. Credit Miranda, another player up on the hold. And again, so you're calling up 14 guys off your JV, but you don't have them on the bench. These guys are all playing. A lot of them certainly are playing major roles throughout the 3 aspects of the game, right? Offensively, defensively, specials. And if you're Roddy McCoy, you could not be happier right now to get this kind of performance from guys on a short week. They had about 3 days of varsity practice, and any one of these 14 guys who have stepped on the field tonight, they've done an unbelievable job.
A lot of ways to win a football game. There's a lot of ways to lose a football game, Dylan, and there's so many nuances to the game on special teams, punt, extra point, things like that. And these young guys have come up. Obviously, their JV is very, very well coached, and they've been right on it. They've been on the money. They've done everything right along the way. And credit to the Bethpage coaching staff and having them prepared. It's a short period of time and being able to play so well in a varsity football game.
And McCoy joked. He said, the short week, the short rest did us no favors here. But you know what? Maybe it did in a way, right? Nobody can think about their situation. You just get to practice. You do what you got to do. Get to game day. There's no worrying. There's no nervousness. You just go out and play. Fumbled. Picked up. This will be the final play here of the third quarter. Fagan wrapped up on the return, but it is all Bethpage right now. The Golden Eagles through 3 quarters. They've got a 28-0 lead over Lynbrook. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For New York high school sports.
Welcome back to Bethpage High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here, and we want to thank our sponsors for this broadcast. Of course, the Steam Squad Carpet and Upholstery Cleaners. Got dirt, got stains, got stink? Well, get the Steam Squad. 10% off when you mention this ad. You also get a bit of a discount when you call these guys at Optimum Pest Control. Protect your home with a company that you can trust. 15% off mosquito service. That is until May 1st. You can call them there. You can see the number on your bottom right. Quarterbacks are so important. We see sophomores here today. Well, you want to get your quarterbacks ready. Go to the Sandwolf Quarterback Academy. They will get your QBs ready for the next level. Sandwolf Quarterback Academy. And last but not least, of course, we've got Lynbrook swag. Your logo, it's got to be perfect. Perfect product, perfect printed and delivered in the right way. Lynbrook swag right there on Main Street in East Rockaway.
Out over the 30-yard line.
So Dylan, Lynbrook comes out of the timeout, stops you play, and they come out and they run a little 3-level flood, and they find the receiver open there for a nice first down and get the ball moving a little bit.
First down at the 32-yard line. And as you said, right, you got to churn and chip away. Trips left here for the Owls, and Fagan in shotgun. Fakes the handoff, takes it himself, tries to find some room to move. He's wrapped up right at the 35-yard line.
Short gain there for Lynbrook.
A 3-yard gain on the play.
Credit him with 3. Good job by the defensive front there by Bethpage.
Not an easy situation for Lynbrook to be in right here, Dylan. Down 4 scores with a quarter to go in high school football is not easy. And I think they're trying to establish some things going forward. They're 0-3, unfortunately. Looking at 0-4 right now, coming in a quarter. And they're trying to establish some identity offensively and some plays that might work going forward.
Trips right now for Lynbrook. Fagan rolls that way, and again, Cucurello was coming from the right side. Fagan scrambles and gets himself out of bounds. And again, Fagan is only in his second year, or second week, I should say, as the starting quarterback, the sophomore. And a fun story here, too, from LaCicero. He said Fagan's also a lacrosse guy, right? So he said his son, Zachary, who was a starting QB a few years ago, 2-year starter, 1,000-yard thrower as well, played lacrosse at Quinnipiac. So he coached Fagan when he was younger, like in 8th grade, on one of those summer lacrosse teams. So LaCicero asked his son, hey, what'd you think about him? And he said, Dad, listen, this could be one of the best athletes I've ever seen. He said, this kid is ridiculous. He's so physically mature. We see it here, too, as a sophomore.
He's very fast, very athletic. I was always trying to turn the corner. Here we go again.
Walker was the man in motion. Fagan went the other way and gets
That's
out.
a great
Fagan
run.
breaking
Yeah.
tackles, getting over the 40-yard line.
Gets past the
Close to
40.
first down.
Stepped in and out of a tackle there, Dylan, and gets a first down.
And that is a Lynbrook first down. 1st and 10 for Lynbrook at their own 42.
So first down run there by Fagan. Gets out to the 42-yard line.
Ball's been in his hands a lot tonight, Dylan. You know, this beautiful night here at Bethpage High School, right? And trying to get him going a little bit north and south. The Bethpage guys did a good job of creating pressure and having him running east and west, a little bit more than north and south.
Fagan was up as a wideout as a freshman, and he was considered to be more of a receiver, a running back this year. And obviously here he is at QB. Doing a pretty good job here. Flushed out, finds a man. I think that might have been Mazzaros there by that Lynbrook sideline.
Fagan's pass is complete.
It was Mazzaros for a short gain there.
And how about this from Mazzaros?
Complete to Mazzaros.
Last week was his first game back since labrum surgery. And Lasiceros says probably pound for pound the best football player that we have on this team. That's Mazzaros. Old school kind of rock'em sock'em athlete. Started as a secondary, started in the secondary as a sophomore. Tough, great kid. Funny thing is he said he saw him, Lasiceros saw him as a 4th grader. And from that point until now, he has been in Mazzaros' mother's ear. I got to get him out to football. I got to get him to play. He's a lacrosse guy as well. Finally, she relented a year ago, and you could see why. Mazzaros, a terrific athlete. Fagan flushed out, and he'll just throw it out of pressure. You see Cucurello applying the pressure, as did Jensen, and it looks like this time they're going to give him maybe that intentional grounding. I thought Walker ran towards the sideline to create that potential receiver.
I think what you see, Dylan, is he throws it out of bounds, and it's forward of the line of scrimmage, but with no real receiver in the area.
See, I don't know if we could take another look at this, but I thought Walker made a curl to create that possibility, but I guess maybe it was a little bit too late. So it's going to be a loss of down as well as a loss of yardage here for Lynbrook.
Yeah, that's a big penalty, those penalties, because that's a loss of down penalty to the offense. So you lose yardage and you lose it down. It's a tough situation. I know Coach Cicero is having some words with the officiating about that call, because some of those types of calls are judgment calls, Dylan, and there's some disagreement as to the referee's judgment there, right?
Well, you're not a coach if you don't at some point disagree with the officials, but I kind of agree with Lacicero here. I thought Walker 25 curled back and at least created that option. I thought you had more of a chance here for an eligible receiver than you did in that earlier play when the Bethpage sideline was calling for a loss of down.
It's a big loss right there. Puts them in third in a pretty long situation, and they've unfortunately been in this situation a lot tonight. Credit the Bethpage defense for forcing some of that to happen for sure, with pursuit and a good play, especially on the defensive line with a lot of pressure.
Sorry, Mike. A lot of that pursuit has been weak side from Cucurello. So 3rd and 17. Got trips right now for Fagan. Empty backfield. Rolls right. Short pass towards the 40. Incomplete.
Complete out to the 41.
Oh, excuse me. Complete.
Are they going to give him the completion? Yep.
It's a good-looking reception there by Jalen Walker, but
going
still,
low for that ball.
Yeah, well short of the first down. Oh, excuse me. Now they did say it's incomplete. I was second-guessing myself. We saw the officials wave their hands in a
play was ruled incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Incomplete motion. You see a look at it again. Fagan rolling right.
Yeah, ball's on the ground. Yep, incomplete pass.
It's a 4th down. Giovinco back to punt. He's been a positive here for Lynbrook, and of course I go and jinx him. That one got up in the jet stream and will only bounce out to about the 45-yard line. So Bethpage in full control, and they'll have the ball when we return from this quick break. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, three-point shot is up and in. You back them back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Bethpage High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here. Bethpage in full control. They've gone back to the bone. It's not bad to the bone, certainly, but back to the bone for Bethpage, and it's worked well for them. They used it to beat Division a week ago, and they're well on their way here as well. Behind the workhorse, Donovan Martinez, who just pushed ahead to the Lynbrook 45-yard line.
There you can see, Dylan, there's that 1 and 2 yard gain in the first quarter, right? It's now 8 and 9 yard gain now in the fourth quarter when people are tired and you've been pushing on people a little bit.
So second and short, so about 2 at the 45-yard line. And it's funny, this wishbone, you know, it's more of that sort of, as the interior handoff to Corbo, it's more of that sort of old school, Jojo Miranda gets the carry. Another one of those sophomores up from the JV team, Super with the tackle. But it's that old school mentality, and it's been so much a part of Golden Eagles football. But look, you're dealing with today's athletes and today's kids, and they're multi-sport athletes. Some of them, a lot of them, football is their number one sport, right? So when you're trying to build numbers, it's sexier in the spread, right? Everyone wants to play the spread. So understandably, Roddy McCoy says, let's go to the spread last year. He does that. They do get some success because the bone was getting stopped. He said, look, it's hard to run the wishbone against a 10-man box, right? Because everyone's playing you to play that. And if you don't have that option B, which is something he said he's learned from both Howie Votes and Erwin Daly, said you've got to have a plan B if plan A isn't working. So plan A forever was the wishbone, went to the spread. Then teams figured out the spread a little bit. Let's go back to the bone.
Dylan, I think you're right. I think what's happened is, everyone's so used to defending the spread and the formations and the plays that the spread runs. Instead, you do something a little bit different, right? You get back in the old school set, which people aren't really designed to defend anymore. It's much different. It's a different look. And traditionally, you can lean on tradition and success and say, this is what happened. We've been doing this for 40 years the same way, maybe longer, and it gives kids a sense of confidence, right? The people before them were successful, and kids have a personality behind it and a mentality to it, and it's been very successful for them.
3rd down and 5.
Miranda with the run. We first mentioned Miranda on that hold when it was a tough snap. He was able to corral it for that point after by Pojo, and now Miranda getting the opportunity to showcase himself running the football as well. And again, one of 14 players up from the JV, and I feel like every one of these guys' names that we're mentioning, they're coming up with a big play. And how about that play defensively as well? Martinez is tough to get down, but blasting through was Rivas again. We've mentioned his name so many times.
I like how he plays linebacker. Look at the game starting. The game is slipping away from the Lynbrook Owls here, unfortunately, a little bit, right? But he's still bringing it on every single down, shooting gaps, making plays, and he's certainly a player that Coach Cicero can lean on going forward the next two weeks.
Timeout by Lynbrook, and we'll keep it here as well.
Lynbrook.
They didn't play last year, these two teams. You have to go back to 2018, and what a game that was. Lynbrook with a 14-13 win. John DiBenedetto, 1-yard touchdown run with 2:02 left to cap an 81-yard drive that gave Lynbrook that Week 6 win. The Owls had a pair of 4th-down conversions on that winning drive, including a 55-yard pass from DiBenedetto to James Gillespie on 4th and 20. This game's been great. We've got another great one for you as well on Saturday. Join me at Sewanee High School, where Garden City will take on Sewanee. The opening kickoff just around 2 o'clock. We'll have that broadcast for you. Should be a fun one in Nassau Conference too. And Mike, Garden City, they just continue, right? Some of the names might change a little bit, but just an incredible effort by Dave Ettinger's guys. They were challenged a week ago against MacArthur. They gave him a run for their money, but Ettinger, his Trojans just found a way. They had a big drive late, and they pulled away with the win.
Win after win at Garden City. It's something that they've been a very, very successful program. Hats off to Coach Ettinger. Coach Fennell is his trusty assistant, getting the job done over there year after year.
48-2 in their last 50 games. Look at this run. Cutting inside. Martinez, look out, ref! Martinez, touchdown, Bethpage!
So Bethpage looks like when they needed it a couple times, down by the goal line, they tossed it here, they tossed it to Martinez, and they get a huge play, a couple of nice cuts in there, and then a big cutback, great vision to see the cutback lane across the field. Great touchdown run. Put a little cherry on top of the sundae here for the victory. For
the way that he looks for contact, I felt bad for the ref. I thought he was going to get barreled over there by the freight train that is Martinez.
Impressive vision right there, seeing that cutback lane and going against the grain. And he could have stayed on the side he was on and got a few more yards, maybe pushed out of bounds. But he went for the home run right there.
You could tell he's got to be tired, right? But you could see even right through the face mask, just the smile, ear to ear by Donovan Martinez. What a performance here tonight as a flag gets thrown late. This will be against Lynbrook, and it'll be of the 15-yard variety. But Donovan Martinez, have a night. He knows how many touchdowns he has today. It's all Bethpage at this point. 35-0 over Lynbrook. You're watching the Nassau Conference 3 Showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Media is available to broadcast your team's big event. Rivalry game.
Off the screen.
Hurry ball is good. Senior night. Whatever the occasion, we enhance the viewing experience with our productions. Don't settle for a boring stream. Call today for more information about our services. 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Thursday night lights here at Bethpage High School, and the Golden Eagles with a tremendous effort here against Lynbrook. 35-0, just over 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the star of the show has been Donovan Martinez. 3 touchdown runs, a 2-point conversion. He's stayed on the field. He's played middle linebacker as well, and very much leading this short-handed Bethpage team to apparently seemingly certainly at this point, a 3rd win out of 4 chances here in this abbreviated season.
When I got it tonight, Dylan, I said how great it was to have Thursday night football, right? On a vacation from school week and a holiday weekend coming up, I said what a great idea. And then when we started talking about Bethpage being a little short-handed, maybe they would have rather played Saturday afternoon to have a couple more days of practice, right? But seemingly they hadn't more than enough practice they needed here because they've been very impressive on both sides of the ball. That's a live ball.
Yeah, I don't know why you're running away from that. Bethpage ball.
Oh, what an unfortunate turn of events right there, because I think the Lynbrook player thought it was rolling out of bounds, and it kind of died in the corner of turf. And that's a live ball. Kickoffs are live balls.
So talk about a gift here. And a really good kickoff, too. The funny thing is, you've got short field position, right? So you could have just booted it, and you kind of kick it to a spot. And Fagan, you know, look, he's a sophomore, right? You make a mistake as a young kid, and you kind of expect some of your younger players as well, right, to have some mistakes. And Lynbrook calls a timeout, and you got to figure here, LaCicero is just saying, listen, guys, let's finish this game the right way. Keep your heads. Let's get ready for next week.
That's just a tough turn of events. You know, you get the ball back. If you're Lynbrook, you run some plays, and you try to close it out. And that ball was bouncing. I actually think, Dylan, the ball, it's live. It's a live ball after 10 yards. It actually hit a Bethpage play. I think it was going to bounce out. It might have hit a Bethpage player's ankle and stayed in bounds and let him fall on it. And very tough turn of events. I think both coaches are talking right now to their players about finishing the game the right way and doing the right things going forward.
Bethpage going forward, they got Plain Edge next week. Plain Edge, a team that just lost to J.I. Quinta's Indians at Manhasset, and they close out the regular season. Again, this abbreviated 6-game regular season at Roosevelt on the 17th. But look, Bethpage comes in, the 5 seed. You're going to be 3-1 now, and Plain Edge, Bethpage, there's that backyard brawl, right? So anything can happen in those games, and Roosevelt too. So they should be, you would expect, in both of those games.
Plain Edge and Bethpage crosstown rivalry there. You know, Plain Edge has been very successful the last few years, defending Long Island champions, right, still. That'll be a great game. And at home here at Bethpage, beautiful place to watch a high school football game here at Howie Votes Field. And it'll be a great matchup, those two teams. I don't think Plain Edge will be too happy coming off the loss and trying to get back on track to their traditionally winning ways. And Bethpage rolling right along, 3-1.
Man, they got a 1st and goal now from the Lynbrook 5-yard line. Smith under center. And a flag, so some motion on the offense. And
motion against Bethpage.
We'll go back, push it back 5 yards.
Looks like Bethpage has some reserve players in the game now, Dylan. Some of the spots on the line.
I just saw Bryce Wiley, number 3, run in.
Normally, some guys in the rosters have good playing time, but now we're reaching real deep with some of the kids coming to JV who are getting an opportunity to play in a varsity football game. Good for them.
Inside handoff. Maybe a yard, if that, as the clock continues to wind down.
You have some younger players here playing for Bethpage, and you have the veterans of Lynbrook just playing with pride right now, trying to play for some pride and keep them off the scoreboard again.
A couple more guys just came on, Jack Geller and John Pelcher, number 80 and number 88. Again, I looking up and down this roster, I think, don't quote me, but I think all 14 of these JV call-ups have seen time now, or will see time, it looks like.
Josh Ray was the ball carrier.
Good for them, getting in a varsity football game at a young age, getting some experience. Will bode well going to next fall.
Handoff, run right. That's a great tackle. Was that Ippolito 33?
I think it might have been 31 doing that.
Ball carrier. Tackled by Tyler Ippolito of Lynbrook. Loss brings the ball back to the 13-yard line.
So it's a loss of 3 on the play.
You know, Dylan, just think these young guys that came up for Bethpage, I don't know if they're going to stick around any longer when the other kids come back, but going down to play a JV football game will certainly look a little bit different on a Saturday morning to these guys once they go back.
Yeah, whether it's the physicality or the speed or both, right? Handoff right. And again, the Lynbrook defense coming up with the play. See big 77 Mike O'Hagan.
Cucurella, the ball carrier.
6 foot 270, but he's also only a
Michael
sophomore.
Hagan made the
Big
stop
dude
for
up front, the
Lynbrook.
defensive
That
tackle.
ball springs it
Yep,
back to
shot
the
a gap in
20-yard
there.
line.
Someone
It'll be
apparently
fourth down.
missed the block. Well, he got off a block because he's a big young man and he made the play in the backfield.
So it'll be 4th down from the 20-yard line.
Good job by the Lynbrook guys offensively. You know, all you have to lean on now is your program, your pride, your teammates playing for each other, and trying to keep Bethpage off the scoreboard right now. Bethpage kind of running the ball inside a little bit and, you know, working the clock.
Just a no-lose situation. Inside handoff out to about the 15. Credit Rivas again. He's got to have double-figure tackles here tonight. Big tackle for Rivas as Bethpage turns the ball over on downs. Lynbrook will take over from the 15-yard line.
Rivas will sleep well tonight. He's been involved in when you play against a wishbone offense, they're going to run the ball. It's going to be you and the fullback mano a mano if you're an inside linebacker, and there'll be some collisions go on there for sure.
Yeah, he's one of the guys, certainly, you know, look, you look for positives from a defeat. He's one of those positives, I feel like, and you look as well at a kid like Christian Mazzaros, right, getting him back on the field. And here's a great story. I want to make sure that I got to it before this game was over. But so Mazzaros, right, had labrum surgery. Well, who was the doctor who gave him the surgery? Dr. Mike Angel, right? Mike Angel, a Lynbrook graduate, who was coached in the JV by LeCicero as well. He coached him in junior high. And this Dr. Mike Angel, a renowned orthopedic surgeon. He worked for the Lakers, the Kings, the Dodgers, and now he's at Manhasset Orthopedics and trained in cutting-edge arthroscopic and minimally invasive approaches. And how about that? Hey, what high school you go to, kid? I'm at Lynbrook. Oh, yeah? I graduated Lynbrook. You feel like you're in good hands then, right?
May have been a connection to get that whole thing tied up. I can't believe it was purely by accident, but that's a good thing if Coach LeCicero could help his player out.
There's this disclaimer as well. LeCicero says, look, we can't tell you where to go, right? But we can make suggestions, and that was a suggestion to Mazzaros, his family, that certainly worked well.
And you know, you look at Lynbrook now, and they've played the season. A lot of linemen, missing a lineman, right? They're down with a very good lineman, and who Coach LeCicero says all county potential. And you just get it's tough playing without a player of that ability. You just get Mazzaros back, and he's played tonight, and trying to come back from that shoulder situation. Of course, a shoulder injury, football, tough combination, and so hopefully they can work their way back from some injuries and work their way back at the form.
And that's what kills you, too, with Gilmartin being out. You lose him in week 2. Now, if this was a regular season, right, you've got 6 more weeks now to get him back. So maybe by the time you get to week 7 or so, you can get him back. Here, again, it's 6 and out. So it'll be touch and go whether you can get him onto the field at all down the rest of this stretch. And Gilmartin is a kid, again, a huge loss. He's on both sides. A special kind of kid as well, and you give him a lot of credit because, again, he schedules his therapy that he needs to work on his shoulder around Lynbrook's practice time.
Yeah, they're obviously very dedicated to their program and wants to help in any way that he can here. And you see on the screen Bethpage bringing in some more reserve players to play defense on the last couple snaps of the game. Some younger players coming in the game. Looks like 59, Sean Dunbar came in the game there. A couple of the younger players getting some time.
Fagan picks up the fumble. He'll just fall in it here in the final 19 seconds. And that should be just about it. McCoy's lining his guys up on the sideline just to let him know probably how much he appreciates the effort, and what an effort it's been here tonight. An undersized and short strength Bethpage team, it doesn't matter, right? Next man up, and these Golden Eagles showed that in the truest sense of the word. They defeat Lynbrook 35-0, and they know where Matt McCower Brown is, right? They can ham it up in front of our cameras, and a big win here for Bethpage tonight. We will take a quick break, and we'll have an interview with our player of the game. Again, your final score, Bethpage 35, Lynbrook nothing. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang. McKee, first down and more. Charlie McKee. Touchdown, Oceanside.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
Welcome back to Bethpage High School. Again, the final score, Bethpage 35, Lynbrook nothing, and our Varsity Media player of the game, well-deserved certainly, is Donovan Martinez, and we have him now on the field. Donovan, first off, congratulations on a big win. Look, a lot was going to be asked of you this week. Of course, you've kind of played that 1B to Patrick Dalton through these first 3 weeks, but you were going to be the guy this week, and you certainly delivered. What did you think just when you spoke to the coaches about maybe that extra responsibility on your shoulders this week?
I know that half our starters is going to be a tough job to finish. We had most of the JV kids step up, and I just had to be a leader and lead us to victory. Everybody executed, did their thing. I did my thing, and we won. We got the dub.
Donovan, you had one touchdown run on the season coming in. You've now got 3 in this game, and Coach mentioned you were a physical runner. You like to get your head down. You invite that physicality. It seemed like that was working here for you tonight.
Season ended, and this is my opportunity.
You mentioned the JV guys, and you had a sophomore starting his first game at QB, and it seemed like even there, right, with Smith, it looked like he was a seasoned veteran. You had 2 younger guys on the line as well, but they were blocking for you, man.
Yes. I mean, everybody did their thing. Like I said, everybody had to step up and do their job, and that's what they did. We executed.
I got to imagine this must feel great. I mean, it's a short week. Again, you're missing a lot of your key guys, but you come away with a huge win. You're now 3-1 in the season. What's the feeling like for you right now?
Feels great. Next week, we just got to prepare for Plain Edge. Hopefully get 4-1 on our record and we go into the playoffs.
The backyard brawl that is Bethpage and Plain Edge. You can't wait for that one, huh?
Can't wait.
Here you see Donovan Martinez, the Varsity Media player of the game. Congratulations again, Donovan.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So Donovan Martinez, 3 touchdowns on the night to lead the Golden Eagles to a convincing 35-0 win. And that'll do it here on Varsity Media. Again, there's your final score, 35-0. The Nassau Conference 3 showdown. I want to thank so many of our crew here tonight. Matt McCower Brown, Ron Pierre, our camera guys. the dueling directors, the pride of Seaford, Nick Louisi, and the immortal Chris Sweeney as well. Of course, Ben Turchin, the fearless leader as well. Of course, from Mike Hungerford, I'm Dylan Butler, thanking you again for joining us and reminding you again, our next live broadcast coming up Saturday afternoon, Garden City against Sewanaka. 2 o'clock kick for that. That's it here from Bethpage tonight. Again, final score, Bethpage 35, Lynbrook nothing. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon on the Varsity Media Sports Network.